For the last couple of years, we have been reporting on the heavy militarization of the federal government, not the U.S. military, but the federal agencies, essentially putting in place a standing army on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time, and a lot of this is not news, but there are some numbers that is significant news because I believe this is putting an end to the Fourth Amendment. And once you put an end to the Fourth Amendment, well, then you just might as well just shut down the Constitution altogether, because ultimately what you have is you have the IRS with 45 million rounds of ammo. You have the Veterans Administration with 11 million, Department of Health and Human Services with 4 million rounds of ammo, Social Security Administration, 1 million rounds of ammo. And all of these administrations have heavily armed tactical SWAT teams. Even NASA has a SWAT team. Now, again, we've watched this take place over the last couple years, but here's the big problem, and I brought this up several months ago, is this has to do with confiscation of property and personal freedoms. It's eliminating the Fourth Amendment, because what you have is, on average, there's around 3,000 SWAT raids per year. For the last 2 years, we've averaged 80,000. 80,000. In 2 years, we've had more SWAT raids than we've had in my entire life here in the USA. This is the problem with arming these federal agencies. What's the point in all these raids? Why are we why does Department of Health and Human Services need grenade launchers and armored vehicles? Why does the IRS need SWAT teams and armored vehicles and grenade launchers? What is the point of all this? It's only for domestic use. They're not sending the IRS to go fight wars overseas. They're not preparing them for that. They're preparing to shut down the Fourth Amendment, which for the most part has already been shut down. And here's the big problem, is most of you and most Americans are applauding the loss of your freedoms when it goes against your political enemies. If it goes against your political enemies, then we applaud the loss of freedom. This is a huge problem, is we're staring at this and we're allowing it to happen, and many of us are literally applauding the loss of freedom that we have here in the U.S. It's a major problem that we have to open our eyes to, that what we're staring at is we're staring at a standing army already shutting down the Fourth Amendment in the U.S., which essentially would just cancel out the Constitution. So any thoughts or insight, definitely put that below. I just want to take a moment and make people aware of this if you're not already. I know a lot of people are aware of the arming, but I don't think people are aware of the sheer volume of these raids that are taking place, going from 3,000 a year to 80,000 a year in just the last 2 years. Goodness gracious, and that's per year. Any thoughts or insight, definitely put it below.